Good morning. Let's start with the Python implementation of the basics that we have already covered. Till now you have the basic idea of linear algebra and also the basic idea about stats. Finally, whatever you learn, you need to implement in the code in the form of Python or R. We will do the implementation in Python. You know what is mean, mode, median, what was the little bit idea about the linear algebra, how our equation is solved, how are we seeing it graphically, and so on. Today we'll be covering how we, for example, you will have the data in the form of the CSV or in the JSON format or in the table format like a SQL file and so on. To manipulate it, you have to convert it into the pandas data frame. So how we are converting a CSV file into a data frame, we'll be covering it today. We will read about the different functions for the mean, mode, median, and also see certain graphical things like box plot, line plots, etc. And also a little bit about the matrix calculation. Matrix play a very important role in data science. When you move forward, you will be seeing like each and everything is stored in the form of the vectors or matrices. So you should know conceptually why matrix calculation is needed and how to implement it in Python. We will see the functions today. See, firstly, you are importing the NumPy and the pandas package. These are used for the scientific calculation and the data analysis and the data manipulation part. Now, we are using the CSV student versus marks. This contains the students column and the marks column. I have given the link of the GitHub where I have actually uploaded the file. You can download it from there, and also the full code which we'll be practicing today is present there. You can take it, you can download it, run it, play with it, change it and see how the values change. You can have your own file as well. So this is the way how we are converting our CSV file into my data frame. The variable data frame has the name data. We are printing the data and you can see how my data is printed. It is having 2 columns. Now, what if your data is having hundreds and hundreds of columns and you cannot directly see how many columns are there? There are certain functions which directly tells you what is the dimension of your data. Let's start with the functions. Firstly, we calculate the mean, np.mean, median, np.median, standard deviation, np.std, maximum value, np.max, minimum value, np.min. These are the basic things which we always know. Now, I have printed each and everything individually. But what if it would be a good idea like all if we get at once? There is a function called .describe which gives you the summary stats. It gives you the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, interquartile ranges and the maximum value. See, one more thing, in our data we are having the student column and the marks column. Student are just the alphabets or the names. We cannot have a mean, mode or this type of measures for this type of variable. We can have these for numbers, that is for data which is numerical. That is why I have focused on data with only the marks column. This is the representation. You can see how we have represented the marks column of the data frame. You can add more more columns in the existing data frame that I have given and then experiment with the different other number of columns. For example, along with marks you can write like what's age, or if a person is an employee, what's the salary and so on. Now, I was just telling, what if we have many columns? How would you know how to find the shape of the data or the dimension of the data frame? It is done by .shape. It gives the data frame. It is giving the result as 20 cross 2. This means 20 rows and 2 columns. Now you are having the data. Just by seeing it graphically, you will come to know more amount of information compared to numbers. See, being a human being, our brain always works on videos. Whenever you see something, it stays in your mind for long compared if you just calculate something or read something. So, graphically representing something is always having a great effect. Now we are having the marks. Just to see a representation, we can have certain graphs. For example, we are starting with the bar graph. Before that, we have to import the matplotlib library package. That is, it is used for the plotting purposes. When we are plotting this, we are able to see which student is getting how much marks, and just by seeing the graph we can say the person named Mike or Modi is having the minimum marks and the person named Tim or John is having the maximum marks. See how interesting a graph makes the data. The data becomes very easy to interpret. Similarly, instead of a bar graph, if we want a line graph, we will just convert this kind is equal to bar to kind is equal to line, and we can get the line graph. In the last video, we have also spoken about the box plot. Box plot was telling about the median, the interquartile ranges, the maximum and the minimum value. It also tells about the outlier. In the graph in the PPT, you can see there are two circles, which is saying that there are two data which are actually the outliers. So the box plot gives you the outliers, it gives you the range of the data, the interquartile range of the data and the median of the data. Hence, you can get the full distribution of the data very easily. So these were the concepts that we had covered conceptually, and now I think we are good in the Python part also. Let's see a little bit basics about the matrix calculation. Firstly, we should know how we are defining a matrix, how we are initializing a matrix. I have made two matrices, that is X and Y, np.array, that is and two-dimension matrix, and Y again np.array and a different two-dimension matrix. Now you can add the elements in the matrix element wise, you can subtract them, you can divide them. But whenever we come into multiplication, two types of multiplication can be done. One is element-wise multiplication and one is the dot product. As we move further with the videos and our repository, we will come to know there is a term called the cosine distances. That cosine distances, we need the dot product of the two matrices. What is the conceptual meaning of dot product? We'll cover it further. But I think in the elementary classes, we have covered this topic. Firstly, we are starting with the normal addition subtraction. The different functions that is np.add, np.subtract, np.divide. These are all element wise. np.multiply would be element wise and np.dot would be a dot product. I have implemented and also I have put the code there. You can just copy paste from the code that I have already uploaded in the Git. The link is given in the description. Also, if you do not understand any concept, do ping me, do comment it. I can directly give you a chat. I can directly chat and then answer the different queries, or you can refer the old videos as well. Also, there are many number of functions for the NumPy and the pandas. You can go through the documentation. You have also heard about the SQL or worked with the RDBMS. In those particular things, we go through the group by functions, filter functions, regex functions. These all are present for data manipulation in the NumPy and the pandas packages. You can use the filters. Like for example, you are creating a new data frame who is having marks less than 50. There are certain syntaxes where you can apply the filter. I want only those particular marks who are less than 50 or greater than 90 and so on. You can use group by function as well. So you can start playing around with the NumPy and pandas as we go further with our education system, as we go further with our repository, as we go further with the videos. We'll practice more and more, and a time will come, obviously we'll be all great in the data manipulation and the data analysis part. These were the certainly very basic level of data science, but without these you cannot move forward. This is my GitHub link and the YouTube link also present in the video. Do like the video, do watch the video, do share the video, and obviously subscribe the video. Thank you. Have a great time. Bye bye.